the Crush on Retro two-tone lace to toe. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Dale of Dale's Leatherworks. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am extremely excited to be talking about Crush on Retro, a brand that I have a great deal of reverence for, especially because of their name. They have a crush, get it? Crush on Retro. They have a crush on a specific retro genre of style. They have a lot of different products. They don't just do boots, they do jackets, they do leather jackets, they do corduroy jackets, kendo jackets, denim jackets, utility jackets, bomber jackets. They do jeans, utility pants, corduroys, bags, socks. And a lot of what they do reminds me of what my friends at Craft and Glory are doing. And before I really get started, huge thanks to my buddy Mark, who owns these boots. He handed them off to me to review. So they are made in China, based in China, though they position themselves as an American vintage heritage style brand. But that said, that's why we're seeing the very low prices that we are seeing. Everything is manufactured and shipped directly from China. But that said, I like to cover quality goods no matter where they're from, and if it's a good deal, I like to bring it to light. And in fact, you know, it's funny, I recently saw my name come up on a blog post. I can't remember where, but somebody made the comment of, oh, I don't trust that guy Dale at Dale's Leatherworks because he likes everything. Yeah, I like everything that I feature on my channel, basically. If I'm going to put a bunch of effort into making a video about a product, it's because I do actually like it. I'm not going to, you know, go buy a cheap pair of Walmart boots and do a review on those. Like, it's never going to happen, right? I'm only looking at stuff that I find visually and aesthetically appealing to my eye. There's always an emphasis on leather, though I do cover other things, but bottom line up front, if I'm gonna do a video on a product, it's because I personally am intrigued by it and drawn to it. Anything that makes it onto my channel is because I like it. So yes, I like everything that I cover, and I don't talk too much about crap products. I think if you're watching me, then you're kind of already familiar with all the crap that's out there. 98% of everything out there is crap. So, so once again, if I'm talking about it, it's because it's not crap, right? Let's talk about these boots specifically. These are the men's two-tone lace-to-toe boots. These are crafted from cream-colored nubuck and black oiled cowhide. These boots showcase a striking contrast of textures that develop. They retail at $299. Insane. And they offer these in sizes 39 through 46. Now, I can't speak much to the sizing, though I think I talked about it in previous videos. I see on their size chart that their sizes seem to run a bit large. So their size 41 would be my size. I'm a 8.5 in most US boot brands. I'm a 9 Brannock. It says that if your sneaker size is size 42, which is what I am, I've never gone wrong with a size 42 in European sizes, their equivalent to a European 42 is a 41. In other words, their 42 is equivalent to a EU 43, otherwise known as a US 9.5. Now, they do offer their measurements in sneakers. The 41s are very much in line with the 26.5. That 26.5 always lines up perfectly for my foot. So once again, just pull up their size chart and find your specific size. It doesn't seem like it translates extremely cleanly into US sizes, as I see they have a size 6.5, then a 7, then an 8, so it skips 7.5, then 8.5, and then it skips a size 9, goes straight to 9.5, then to 10, 11, 12, 12.5, and 13 in US sizes. So it might take a little bit of investigation work on your end. I think for me, it's pretty clear I'd be a size 41 in their brand. That's what I would opt for and feel good about. If I remember to ask Mark some of his sizing guidance, I will leave that in the description down below. So these are crafted from cream colored nubuck and black oiled cowhide. These boots showcase a striking contrast of textures that develop rich character over time. The Vibram Christie 377K wedge sole delivers superior cushioning and traction, while the stitch down construction ensures lasting durability. Choose between a mid-top height with 6 eyelets and 2 speed hooks, or the tall version with 7 eyelets and 3 speed hooks for added support. Each pair is handmade to order with meticulous attention to detail, featuring a luxurious nubuck exterior, top grain leather buffed to a velvety finish that ages beautifully. Completed in just 2 to 4 weeks, these boots blend workwear heritage with contemporary craftsmanship, perfect for those who appreciate both substance and style. So there's no specific information on the tanneries that Crush On Retro sources their leathers from, though it's likely that they're getting their leathers from specialized workshops in Guangzhou or Dongguan that specialize in high-quality top-grain hides. Yeah, brands like this rarely disclose their specific proprietary tannery partners, but yeah, it could be the Kuo Yuan Tannery in Dongguan, Guangdong, which is a major supplier of cowhide split leather and suede. This one's also used by Nike, Adidas, and Ralph Lauren. So let's get a look at these bad boys. So I do sell kilties in SB Foots, multiple nubuck and rough outs from SB Foot, and this very much feels like an SB Foot leather, this nubuck here. It's got a nice rubbery feel, a nice matte finish appearance. This does not feel cheap at all. In fact, yeah, looking on the inside, the rough out on the other side of the nubuck, it looks to me like an SB Foot leather if I had to compare it to anything. Again, I do believe this is coming from China, but they're doing a very good job. The black oiled cowhide is completely struck through, so there's not going to be any T-coring on this particular leather. As Mark beats these bad boys up, they're not going to start showing natural undertones to the leather. And then one thing I did do was I threw in some rawhide laces. I think these rawhide laces really complement the boot. For example, Mark's pair came with a set of nylon laces, and I said, you know what, why don't we upgrade these bad boys? And so, yeah, now they're fully upgraded. The eyelets, very good, high quality, durable eyelets. They appear to be raw brass, and they are fixed eyelets. They're not going to cinch down. These aren't the cheap eyelets that, unfortunately, a lot of US brands use. Alden uses, I consider, an inferior eyelet on their speed hooks, as well as even Red Wing sometimes, but these are not. These are definitely better eyelets compared to even what a lot of US makers use. Brands like Truman use a better eyelet. Yeah, so these eyelets alone, if you're to buy these boots from a US manufacturer in today's economy, you'd probably expect to pay $600-700 for something like this. So being that you're getting something like this for $300 is pretty insane. And then, yes, the always beautiful lace to toe design. I'm a sucker for lace to toes. The eyelet facings come down nice and close to the toe area. The toe is structured. Real vegetable tanned leather in the midsole, and then an extra layer in the heel / half sole area here. Yeah, we've got an impressive 360-degree stitch down welt. Incredible. The double row stitch down is only 180 degrees. Double row stops halfway, basically at the end of the vamp here at the midfoot area, with a real nice storm welt here along the front. Probably it's a 270-degree storm welt. The storm welt stops at the heel here. Beautiful work. And then yes, this Vibram anti-slip outsole is a very, very good, rugged, durable outsole that is also very lightweight. So this is going to be a boot that basically wears like a sneaker, right? A triple stitching on the vamp, which runs up the toe and down the vamp again. I can't imagine that would have been easy to stitch that. And then also triple stitched on the back heel stay with a nice firm back heel stay. There's a pull tab up here, very securely stitched into the back heel stay. Really cool triangular pattern on the back heel stay as well. Roll top collar at the throat. The tongue is partially gusseted. The gusset comes to about the fourth eyelet here and stops. That'll allow a little bit more wiggle room for the tongue up here, but it will prevent dirt and debris and rain from getting in underneath the tongue. And overall, from an aesthetic standpoint, I really just love the look of this boot. I love lace-to-toes. I have some Renav Goods lace-to-toes, and I couldn't help when I saw these but compare these to my Thorogood lace-to-toes. So unfortunately Thorogood doesn't make these anymore, but this is one of the coolest boots I've ever owned for sure. Very comfortable. We have a really slick cork outsole back here. I threw in some olive rawhide laces in there, and this is a more of a traditional roofer style boot. This is characterized by this additional panel right here that's triple riveted down. This is designed to be able to take a lot of scraping along a rough surface like concrete or a roof, and designed not to wear a hole through. So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3 different layers to this bad boy. The pattern on this one's considerably different, but when we're talking about a two-tone lace-to-toe, I always find them just super cool looking. Yeah, this black against cream, obviously a very aggressive look, but beautiful in its own right. This one is sort of a sand rough out with a brown chocolate horse strip toe and back heel stay and tongue. So lately I have enjoyed delving into the histories of these boots. The lace-to-toe boot is often recognized by the monkey boot style. It is a masterclass in functional design that moved from hazardous job sites to high fashion subcultures. Congratulations, if you're watching this video, you are part of that subculture. Its defining feature is a lacing system that extends almost to the base of the toes, acting like a moldable exoskeleton for the foot. The utility era loggers and lineman boots started in the 1920s and 1940s. Before the lace-to-toe was a style, it was a safety requirement. In the early 20th century, workers in the Pacific Northwest, especially loggers and linemen, needed boots that wouldn't slip during dangerous climbs. The lineman boot was made by Red Wing, and Thorogood popularized the lace-to-toe for workers climbing electrical poles. By extending the laces down to the vamp, workers could tighten the boot across the entire foot, not just the ankle. This provided extreme rigidity and prevented the foot from sliding forward while descending steep terrain or bracing on a pole. The most famous iteration of the LTT design is the monkey boot. Its exact naming origin is debated, possibly due to the way the laces curl like a monkey's tail, or how climbers monkeyed up poles. I believe in the latter theory. Its history is rooted in World War II with Czechoslovakian origin. Oh, this is cool because I'm actually a quarter Czech. The design is widely attributed to military issue boots from Czechoslovakia in the 1940s and 50s. The design allowed for a secure fit across different foot shapes and heavy socks, making them efficient, durable, and relatively cheap to manufacture compared to standard officer boots. In the 1960s and 1980s, British subculture adopted it. Massive amounts of Czech military surplus flooded the UK during this time because they were affordable and rugged, and they were adopted by mod, skinhead, and punk. Today, the lace-to-toe are a staple for heritage brands like Nix, Whites, and Danner. They're prized for their customizable fit, the ability to adjust pressure distribution perfectly for high arches or wide feet, and for their distinctively stubby, rugged silhouette. So yes, moving on to Crush on Retro, they also have an engineer model in T-Core cowhide. In fact, they have 91 different models of boots. They've got different engineers, different hiking boots. They've got different types of combat lace-to-toe boots. Well, those look pretty cool, actually. They've got jump boots with the cap toe with the perforations on it. They've got other two-tone monkey boots, all punching in at the $200 to $300 range. Yeah, they do have some models that look a little bit questionable. So there you go, critique commenter on the internet. There are some of these models that I personally would not like, but they have men's suede field N1 field shoes, which are the marine field shoe model. Very cool. Rough out timber boots. Yeah, so basically anything in the $200 and below range, I'm not such a fan of, but anything in the upper $200 to $300 range, I'm a big fan of. But yeah, they do have a lot of these monkey style lace-to-toe boots, and they're all they're all very attractive looking makeups. So anyways, I could go on, but I'll leave a link to Crush on Retro in the description below. They are not an affiliate, so if you click that link and make a purchase, I receive no compensation, which again, I hope just illustrates that I'm not out here trying to make money. If I make some money, that's good. It keeps me motivated, but I am faithfully just trying to represent brands and give my honest opinion and assessment of them as they come my way. So with that, I'll shut it down. I want to hear all your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. End of transmission.